Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. The show is broadcast live from the illustrious Radio 1 studio. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. I'm not here to save your soul, I'm here to save your business. Glad to be here on this Friday. I love Fridays. First of the month. We're in the month of June. And I am a business developer by trade. I find out more about me by going to Gatewood Marketing, where I have a company that specializes in business development and getting businesses off the ground. And also go to marketingpulpit.com and find out more about the show and what we do here, what our mission is. You can look at past shows. You can also catch us on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. And we are all things Marketing Pulpit. Glad to be here on this Friday. Got a lot going on. Today we're going to talk about Ball of Confusion. Remember that song back in the day, Temptations, Dennis Edwards, and all the guys were singing, "That's what the world is today. Hey, hey." Well, I tell you, the confusion continues. We're into confusion 2.0. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how do you navigate in this new era, in this regurgitated ball of confusion. Because the world is changing. Influences are changing. The rules are being rewritten. And if you want to stay relevant, informed, and find out what's going on today in this rapidly changing world, then you want to stay tuned. I'm going to try to give you a little insight from this old head. Let's see. I also I'm an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College, where I teach marketing, digital marketing, public relations, social media strategies, networking strategies. I've written a couple of books. So this is what I do for a living. I don't know it all, but I know quite a bit, and I'm still learning, as you should still do on a daily basis. This month of June is full of cultural and awareness celebrations. Men's Health Month. I have to put a star beside that one. So many people have left us in the last few days. We saw Foster Silvers. I used to like that group, the Silvers. A lot of them, boy, about 8 of them. Like 5 guys and 3 girls. And they had the baddest froze. They were like the closest thing to a rival of the Jacksons. So we lost Foster Silvers, he was 64. We also lost Peebo Bryson. Close your eyes. Mr. Peebo, man, he was a crooner. So lost him. So that just accentuates, puts a new emphasis on maintaining your health. I'm not sure if anything they could have done, but your health does impact. It has an impact on how long you're going to be on this earth. So anything you can do preventative. We had wellologist Candace Camille on the show last week. She gave us that MESH acronym. And if you want a quick, easy way to try to stay healthy, she said M is for movement. You got to move around. E is for eating the right foods. S is for sleeping, getting that rest. And H is for hydrating, drinking that water. So to all the men, as we enter into this Men's Health Awareness Month, if we don't do anything else, let's try to mesh like Sister Candace told us last week. And you can go to that show. Go to marketingpulpit.com. You'll see the menu of the shows, the last few shows we've had. Go back and listen. That's also PTSD Awareness Month. Once again, this is talking about mental health. So you got to take care of your body, but you also have to take care of your mind. Gun Violence Awareness Month, encouraging advocacy and prevention efforts. So many folks are leaving here because of intentional and unintentional gun activity. Immigrant Heritage Month, honoring the contribution of immigrants to this country, and there are many. It's also we also want to see on the 19th, Juneteenth is coming up. Father's Day is coming up on the 21st. World Eating Disorders Day this month. And National Say Something Nice Day. I like that one. So say something nice to somebody today. Go back and mend some old beefs. Drop some of those arguments. Just go ahead and say something nice. You'll be surprised what an impact it will have, not on just the person, but on you. Let's quickly talk about a couple items in the news. The news keeps coming. It's hard to talk about news now without talking about AI. These big companies are steadily cutting tech jobs. Now, what I don't like about that is because as a society, we told all these young people and adults to go out here and get into the tech field because that's where the future lies and that's where the money is. But now it's like these cuts, we've seen a 65% increase in cuts this year over the previous year. And these are the jobs that were supposed to be the jobs of the future. So you just gotta, you almost need a crystal ball now. You got young people out here making decisions on where they're going to go to school and what they're going to major in. And it's like a crapshoot. I tell you one thing that seems to be the hot hand right now, of course, the AI. AI seems to be where the growth is. And the second story is that the jobless claims that are happening, much of it has been attributed to the rise in AI. So a lot of these jobs that used to be sacrosanct, that were the jobs of the future, they can be done now by AI. Now, as somebody who's also a certified AI developer, AI writes code now. That's where a lot of these tech jobs have been, why a lot of them have been cut. AI writes code. It can write PHP, HTML, CSS, you name it. So that has been a claim that many of these companies have used as the reason for jobless claims, cuts. But I think one of these guys that said that was all baloney. So that's still being debated. I think people are just looking for a reason to lay people off in many cases. Yes, AI is out there, but you still need people. I predict there's going to be a reversal of many of these layoffs and cuts. They're going to be bringing people back. Because just like we found out in the government when they laid off all those people under the Doge plan, things started happening. And they weren't good. And I predict we're going to see a similar occurrence as people start realizing that AI is not this panacea that many people thought it was going to be. Let's see what else is going on. Good morning, Brother Brown, and the greatest plumber in town. Thanks for tuning in this morning. And He says hello to the Marketing Pulpit family and hello to you, my brother. If you're in the area, come on out to the First Friday BLE, and Marketing Pulpit is going to be hosting a First Friday networking event over in Largo. Come on out, join us if you're in the DC area. And what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to jump right into our topic for today: the new rules of influence. I even put it on, call it a ball of confusion. Ball of confusion 2.0. We saw ball of confusion back in the day with the Temptations. You guys really tore it up. Dennis Elwood and Melvin Franklin and Otis Williams and the whole gang. So ball of confusion is back. So hang on a second. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We're here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Bring you the good marketing gospel. All right, we're back. This is the Marketing Pulpit. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. Check us out on marketingpulpit.com. And you can catch us here most Fridays. Just set your alarm for 10:30 on Fridays, the first Friday of the month. And every Friday. Now, we do the First Friday networking event on the first Friday, but we do the Marketing Pulpit Show every Friday, 10:30 a.m. Catch us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all of your favorite social media platforms. We're talking about the new rules of influence. And when the world is disrupted, who wins? Who benefits? Are you going to be on the winning end or the losing end on this disruption that seems to be carrying on? I'm going to talk about this in 4 important areas. And it's a good area for you to take note because many people are confused and they feel uncertain. I don't have all the answers, but I've been out here for a minute. I weathered quite a few storms. I saw the real estate bust back in 2007. I saw the internet bust. And so here we see now this, some of this, of course, has been fueled by the current political environment and the current administration. So we're having to refocus, realign under these new rules of influence. That's going to determine who's going to thrive and succeed in the next decade. And I'm going to give you 4 different areas I want you to look at. And the first one that applies to most of my listening audience is business and why you must be adaptable. You have to be adaptable because that is the new competitive advantage, those who are able to adapt. Because AI is replacing tasks, but it's not replacing people. And small businesses are being forced to use AI to level the playing field. Every time I do an AI task now that I used to have to hire somebody, give them a few $100, in some cases $1,000, that I can now do in like a minute. I'm always worried and concerned about the impact of the people I used to hire to do those jobs. So we have to be aware of that and continue to support companies that we can support, particularly if your company is doing well. Maybe you can educate people. Maybe you can let them know what kind of changes they need to make. But don't just rack in the money and not be concerned about the impact, because it does have a trickle down effect. What impacts your neighbors will impact you eventually. So if you're a small business and you you're a little giddy now because AI can create your brochure and can write your business plan, well, just keep your ear to the ground, because that old gospel song is it won't be this way always. So we have personal brands now competing with corporations, and we have some knocking going on in the background. So bear with me. Um, Personal brands competing with corporations, and that wasn't all. I mean, we always had competition, but that you see more of that now because of these behemoths, these big corporations. There's these conglomerations that run amok, and so these small personal brands trying to compete with these corporations, you have a fight on your hand. Now, what I always try to say, sometimes if you can't beat them, you may have to join them. Maybe you can subcontract yourself out. If you had a delivery company, now you can subcontract yourself out to Amazon or something like that. I mean, you don't want to have to do that, but you want to survive also. So you got to find this. That's what we talk about by being adaptable. You have to embrace adaptability in order to survive in this new economy. We're also seeing the rise of the creator economy, what we call the influencer economy, where people who are creating content, and they have these platforms that drive interest and enthusiasm, and people come to their platform, and once they get them there, they can distribute services and ideas and so forth. And this is being fueled by things like the social media platform, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, IG, Patreon, Substack, and so forth. So that's becoming more popular now. So if you're not creating content, I know this sounds crazy. Some of you are like, you say, look, I just want to bake cakes. I want to fix roofs. I want to get people out of jail. I want to heal. But this creator economy is forcing us to all become content creators just to drive interest and people to our platforms. So these are some of the areas we're talking about in this new ball of confusion and the new rules of influence. Another area, this is number 2 area, is leadership. Business as usual is gone. The traditional management models are just not cutting it anymore. Employees want purpose. They want flexibility. They don't just want to be a cog in the wheel that you can dispense whenever you feel like it. They want to feel useful. They want to tap into their purpose. And customers, on the same hand, they want transparency. They want to know what's going on. They want to know where you got that diamond. What kind of labor was used to build that pair of sneakers? What are you doing with my information? Yes, we have AI, but how is that impacting the environment? So we have these big companies over here just running amok, doing whatever they want to, but at the same time, we're getting pushback from the consumers. They want to know what's going on, and they should. We're talking about the ball of confusion, the new rules of the game. My other area of concern, of interest, is the global affairs. What's happening in the world? And geopolitics affects us all, whether it's supply chain distributions, tariffs, trade uncertainty. We got wars going on. Strait of Hormuz is still shut down. Fights going on in Europe, Asia, the Middle East. Our country is putting blockades on Cuba, shooting boats out of the sea. These things affect us all. It affects the energy, it affects technology, and it will affect your local business at some point. So you have to the advice I would give on the global affairs is that you have to stay abreast. First of all, what's going on, how the supply chain affects you locally, and how you can impact what's happening in your local market. One way is through political action. You really do need to get out and vote. You can't just complain that, wow, look at the price of gas. Well, why is the price of gas $5 a gallon? Is it because somebody voted in? I don't like the way the ICE is treating the immigrants. Why? That's a direct reflection of how the country votes. So these global affairs, these global elections, they will affect you locally. Another area, as we talk about the ball of confusion and the new rules of influence, this is an old one, but it's probably more relevant now than ever before, and that's community. Can we still build trust in a world that's so divided? Who can you trust? It's hard to trust anybody nowadays. I'm just telling you. Do you trust the brands? Remember what Tesla went through? That's a good example. That's still fresh in our minds. Yeah, you have a billionaire laying off people, cutting aid to starving Africans, and expect people to still support the brand. Well, he's kind of toned things down now, but that's an example of people are paying attention to these kind of things. So who do you trust? Do you trust a brand? Do you trust the media? We're seeing what happens when you have a president who disagrees with a media organization and puts pressure on the organization to replace certain personalities. That's not building trust. That's building distrust. So there's an erosion going on between trust in the community and the media. So what you end up doing, and then of course the community itself. Do you trust the community? Because sometimes the community follows the leaders of those communities. So you're looking at your school boards, you're looking at your state representatives, your local representatives. Do you trust them, or are they under the influence of some type of lobby or organization? I was watching some political ads just last night, and everybody sound the same. Everybody's saying we're going to make life better, we're going to cut the gas prices, we're going to put food on your table. Then you find out some people are under the influence of certain political organizations and PACs and things like that. So now you start to wonder, can you trust anything they say? So you find yourself being more beholden to your family and your social networks to get information. And then you expand that into the people you know and can believe in. Now that doesn't mean you can't trust anybody, but that means you got to do your homework. And that the organizations have to continually work to build that trust, earn that trust, and keep that trust. And last we're going to talk about is personal development. We're talking about this new rules of influence. We're talking about the ball of confusion. That's what the world is today. Hey, hey. All right, Temptations. Yeah, we heard you. You're back. So, how do you as an individual remain relevant? How do you survive in this new influence, under these new rules of influence? The first thing, you have to keep learning. Don't you ever, 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 as long as you live, stop learning. I'm just going to tell you, once you do that, it's lights out. Keep learning. Get some certificates, take some classes, go to YouTube, wherever you have to go. Keep learning. Stay abreast of what's happening in the news. Find sources that you can trust. Cross-reference. Just because you saw something on Twitter or Facebook, don't you pick that up and go run out and start telling people. You're going to have egg on your face, I'm telling you. Cross-reference. Do your own research. Other thing I want you to do is embrace digital literacy. Go ahead and take a little quick AI course. You don't have to necessarily get a certification. They have some courses over at Prince George's Community College, where I'm an adjunct professor. We actually, Dr. Reginald King and myself, we actually created a new digital marketing certificate over there at the college. We can learn things about social media and email marketing and SEO and pay-per-click, things like that. So increase that digital literacy. You can't live in this world and ignore the impact, because there's certain things you need to know as far as keeping yourself secure, up to date, increasing your income and revenue. The other thing I'm going to ask you to do in your personal development field is to keep building your network. And your network is the people that are impacted by your success or failure. I call them also stakeholders. That's going to become more particularly now when you layer in the other areas we talked about, like trust and things like that. Build that network of people that you can trust, people that you can go to, people that have your interests at heart. And I'm also going to ask that you build multiple income streams. I don't mean that doing a bunch of little things that's going to take you off your purpose. But when I say build multiple income streams, try to do this. If you do it, try to tie it into what you're already doing. So if you're, like I said, if you're a driver, you drive for a living, then you might say, look, I'm going to subcontract out myself to various companies that need delivery services. If I'm a graphic designer, I might try to find other ways that I can use that to create, maybe go teach a course at the college, go jump on some of the different online platforms and subcontract your services out, do something like maybe like Fiverr or something like that. So you have these skills, just try to get more return on the time and energy you've invested in those skills over the years. And that's my rule for building multiple streams of income. Try to keep it tied into your purpose and your foundational skill sets. Instead of going out trying to say, all of a sudden, I'm going to go out and start baking cakes, and I've never baked a cake in my life. I mean, you might make a good cake, but people are not going to trust you because they figure that's not your area of expertise. I want to buy a cake from somebody who knows something about cakes. So that's going to wrap it up for today. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood. Today we were talking about operating under the new rules of influence. We talked about 5 different areas. We talked about business, leadership, global affairs, community, and personal development. You might want to go back and take a second listen. And if you want to, somebody who's struggling right now, kind of a little adrift, share this information. Tell them to tune in on a regular basis. Let's see here. So we'll be back next week. And if you're in the DC area, come on out to the Marketing Pulpit. BLE, Miss Bernadette Clay, and myself will be facilitating the First Friday networking event, as we do the first Friday of every month. We will not be doing it in July. Everybody's going to be closed on the 3rd of July, so we're going to skip July. But do come out. This is more reason you should come out today, so you don't have to wait up all the way to August to come out to one of these amazing events. Some of the things we talked about today is a good place to start as you start to operate in these new rules of influence, particularly the networking part, the building trust, understanding about the business aspects, getting information and things like that. So I will see you next week. And some of you, I will see you at the First Friday networking event. Brother Brown say he will see me there. Looking forward to seeing you, Brother Brown, as always. I say that in every show. At least I try to. If you want to be successful, you have to do these 3 things. You want to do the right thing. You want to do it at the right time. And you must do it right. You can't just talk about it. So enough talk. Let's get to work.